Thursday afternoon, WWE held an international event for the first time since February 2020, with Crown Jewel taking place in Saudi Arabia. The in-ring action delivered far beyond any event in Saudi before, with some cracking matches on the card such as Edge v Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns v Brock Lesnar. Let's get straight into the action. On the pre-show, it's the Usos versus the Hurt Business. A hot start from Alexander and Benjamin saw the duo trap Jey Uso in the ring, cutting him off from his brother and working over him with a variety of kicks and armbar. James was finally able to make the hot tag to Jimmy, and he took control before Alexander and Benjamin took back control, with Benjamin hitting pay dirt for a near fall. The Usos eventually got the win with a double super kick. And yeah, this was a really fun match to start the show. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. From the start, fast-paced action, no real feud between the two competitors, but just a fun action-packed match on a kickoff show. Before we got Edge v Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell. Rollins was the first man to hit the cell wall, with Edge moving out of the way of a suicide dive. A chair was then brought into the match early before Edge hit execution for a near fall. Edge then tried to break up part of the chair to use it in a crossface, but Rollins was the one who used the chair to take over the match before hitting Edge with a concerto. Rollins then used the chair to blind Edge and hit an unprettier for a near fall. Edge came back by driving Rollins from the top rope into the cell. The ring attack were brought into the ring on the top, with Edge hitting an Edge-O-Matic before leaping over the rope with a steel chair and crashing onto Rollins. The two counts continued, with Rollins hitting a pedigree and Edge hitting a spear. Rollins then drove Edge through a table with a sunset flip powerbomb over a ladder, continuing to bring a ton of carnage to the match. With Edge on the verge of defeat, he managed to drive a chair into Rollins' groin, and Rollins hit a series of super kicks, including one of the chain wrapped into with a boot. Edge then used a wrench to lock in a crossface, choosing instead to hit a stomp on Rollins, driving Rollins' head into the chair for the pinfall. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Yeah, this went on ages, but it was so entertaining. Great storytelling throughout the match. Multiple near falls. Really, really good stuff. Next up was home hero Mansoor against Mustafa Ali. Mansoor was obviously over and managed to hit a standing moonsault early on to get a near fall before Ali repeatedly rolled from the ring whenever Mansoor built momentum, a move that eventually worked when Mansoor tried to follow him out, but Ali yanked him to the floor and locked in a camel clutch when the action returned to the ring. As Ali drove kicks into Mansoor's chest, taunting along the way, Mansoor was able to counter and fire up for a comeback as Ali begged off. Ali then hit a top rope moonsault for a 2 count before he locked in a Koji clutch, but he missed a 450 splash, and Mansoor hit a sling broad neck breaker to pick up the win. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. The match was okay. It's more than the shown for Mansoor, and to be honest, it's kind of what we expect from these shows. But moving on, next up was RK Bro v AJ Styles and Omos for the Raw Tag Team titles. Orton nearly hit Styles with an RKO just moments into the match before Riddle tagged in and used a modified aeroplane spin on Styles before accidentally depositing the challenger in his corner, allowing Styles to tag in Omos. Both Riddle and Omos failed to put in a move on Omos, and Omos eventually tagged Styles back in, which proved to be good as as Orton countered a phenomenal forearm into RKO before tagging Riddle, who hit a floating bow with Omos removed from the match. Yeah, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. The match was okay, decent little feud gender, just kind of expects a bit more though. Before it was the final of the Queen's Crown, and speaking of expecting a bit more, Doudrop dropped a few kicks from Vega before delivering a headbutt. Vega then went to the top rope, where she caught a tornado DDT for a near fall and went on a run on offense before driving her knees into Doudrop for a near fall. Doudrop then hit a slide slam for a near fall moments later. Vega managed to hit a code red on Doudrop to score the victory. And yeah, this only went 6 minutes. It kind of just felt like the rest of the tournament. WWE just not really caring about it. To be honest, this was disappointing. Vega, suddenly she's turned into brilliant after being so bad when she returned. But Vega's a good winner. It just wasn't that great, to be honest. Before moving on, Goldberg then took on Bobby Lashley in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Lashley wrapped a chain around his hand before the match started. Goldberg tried to attack with punches immediately, but was quickly dropped as Lashley used his chain direct fist. Lashley then sent Goldberg into the ring post, and Goldberg was bloodied his scalp almost immediately. Lashley grabbed a steel chair and began to work over Goldberg, also hitting a chop block. The aggression from Lashley eventually backfired as he missed the spears and drove himself through a table in the corner of the ring. Goldberg then hits Bear on a jackhammer but frees to go to the pin, instead removing his gloves and throwing Lashley from the ring. On the floor, Goldberg drove Lashley from the ringside barricade with another spear. Despite having the match won, Goldberg continued to attack, trying to drive the ring steps into Lashley's head and stalking Lashley as he tried to leave the match, only to have Alexander and Benjamin come to his aid. Only for one to be quickly manhandled. Goldberg then got the win by driving Lashley from the entrance route through 3 tables below with yet another spear. To be honest, this was a decent match between the two of them. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It wasn't anything special, but it's the best match that was going to happen. Keeps Goldberg strong, but Lashley kind of needs a big win soon, I feel. Next up was the finals of the King of the Ring. Balor got the early momentum before a bit of back and forth action starting to ensue. Woods nearly won the match early with a big super kick right as Balor was getting rolling into the corner for a drop kick. Both men exchanged chops, elbows and kicks before Woods got Balor in the corner and delivered the superplex. Woods then hit another move and tried to end things with a ring walk elbow, but Balor got his knees up and tried to finish things with a coup de grace. But Woods countered. Woods then went for the rope walk elbow again, this time hitting it and scoring the pin. This was far shorter than expected. Would have liked a longer match, given how talented these two are. But in the end, just really happy that Woods got the win. Could have gone either way, but I do think this is the right decision. Great for Woods. What a story. Just hope Balor gets a big win soon, though. Before moving on was Biggie versus Drew Mcintyre. Various tests of strength opened the match, with both men failing to knock each other down. After the match went outside, McIntyre hit Biggie with a belly-to-belly suplex on the floor. McIntyre nearly won the match with a spinebuster as he continued to have the champion on his heels. Both men hit several belly-to-belly suplexes before a Biggie splash almost scored him a near fall. McIntyre then scored his own near fall with a future shock DDT. After McIntyre countered his way out of a stretch muffler submission, Biggie then hit a big ending but only scored a 2 count. McIntyre also hit a big move, then got his finish when Biggie kicked out of a Claymore. A second big ending was enough to get it done for Biggie, winning the match and retaining his title. This was a fun little match. I think we all know which way it was going, but it's still good for Biggie to get the win. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Before moving on, it was Becky Lynch versus Bianca Blair versus Sasha Banks. Lynch was very over with the crowd. The match almost got taken out to the outside immediately, with Blair hitting a one-arm press slam. Lynch and Banks paired off next, with Banks using a Meteora for a near fall before locking Lynch in the Banks statement, which was broken up by Blair. Lynch then tried to hit both of them with a drop kick from the top rope, but was caught and thrown down into the turnbuckle. Blair then nearly hit Lynch with a KOD, but Lynch was able to counter and got the knees up. Blair then got more chances to shine with impressive shows of power, forcing Lynch and Banks to work together, locking in simultaneously Banks statements and disarmers. Banks then used Blair's head to pull the knees before Blair countered and nearly hit a bridging pin. Lynch made the save and then Banks got hit with a manhandle slam, only to have Blair break the pin. The action continued with wild swings in the momentum before Lynch locked both women in a disarmer simultaneously. Blair came back moments later to hit the KOD on Lynch, but wasn't able to get the pin as Banks rushed into the ring. Lynch was then able to roll out Banks and grab the bottom rope to score the pin and retain the title. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Was it the finest match I've ever seen? No. But in the end, it was still perfectly entertaining. And great to see Becky retain her title. I'm just worried about this bloody swap now. I hope it doesn't happen. But let's just see where it goes. And then in our main event, it was Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. Lesnar was able to hit an early German suplex before Roman was able to escape the pressure by ducking outside the ring. On the floor, Reigns was able to drive Lesnar into the ring post and also dig a thumb to the eye to avoid an F5. Reigns dropped Lesnar with a Superman punch as Lesnar tried to re-enter the ring and followed up with a dive over the top rope onto Lesnar on the floor. Reigns then hit a spear for a 2 count before Lesnar leaped over another Reigns' spear attempt, sending Reigns crashing face first and then hit an F5. He then hit another F5, but this time he knocked the ref out. Lesnar tried to revive the ref, but Reigns turned this into a steer. Paul Heyman then threw the title belt into the ring and then yelled, "You know what to do with it." Both men wrestled over the belt before Lesnar ripped it away. The Usos then ran in, hit a double super kick, and Reigns laid out Lesnar with the belt before a second ref ran in to make the count. Heyman after the match celebrating with Reigns, but he looked like he made a mistake. I'm pretty sure he meant that for Brock. But yeah, this was just a fantastic match. So much drama with Heyman as well. WWE's built this storyline perfectly, and I can't wait to see where it goes next. But I think Heyman and Lesnar could be aligned, but you just never know. This was brilliant. 9 out of 10. Overall, Crown Jewel 2021 gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Yeah, to be honest, Crown Jewel was a bit of a mixed show in terms of pay-per-views. It was really, really good. But, you know, there were some bits that I wasn't quite as keen on. But, you know, that Roman Reigns match to end the show was just fantastic. The Hell in a Cell match was great. On the whole, it's a solid pay-per-view. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Remember your thoughts, comments down below. And follow me on Twitter. Link in the description below for daily wrestling news. Subscribe to my channel and subscribe right now. That would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.